Bien, mesdames, messieurs, je vais vous demander de bien vouloir, s'il vous plaît. Mesdames, messieurs, s'il vous plaît. Bertrand, s'il vous plaît, c'est la séance d'ouverture. Si vous voulez bien prendre place. Nous avons maintenant donc la séance d'ouverture officielle de cette conférence. Et j'ai le très grand plaisir et honneur de passer tout de suite la parole à Madame Reem Al Hashimy, qui est aujourd'hui ministre de la coopération internationale des Émirats arabes unis, que je voudrais saluer. Et je voudrais rappeler ce que beaucoup d'entre vous savent, qu'elle a été la présidente de l'organisation de l'exposition universelle l'an dernier. En fait, Madame la ministre, vous avez, je crois, passé 4 ans pour la préparation au moins de cette extraordinaire exposition universelle, dont une année blanche à cause du Covid, puisqu'il a fallu repousser d'1 an l'ouverture de cette exposition universelle. Donc, encore félicitations. Je crois que nous vous adressons tous de tout cœur des félicitations pour cet extraordinaire événement, extraordinaire réussite. Et maintenant, j'ai le très grand plaisir de vous céder le pupitre. Et alors, comme vous l'avez remarqué, Madame Reem Al Hashimy parle parfaitement français. Vous avez vu, elle comprenait ce que je disais. Elle parle parfaitement français. Et puis, elle est une femme, une de ces femmes, il y en a beaucoup aux Émirats arabes unis qui sont au gouvernement, qui occupent des fonctions éminentes. Et ceci me donne l'occasion aussi de vous dire que s'il n'y a pas eu dans le panel précédent et peut-être aussi dans d'autres panels de femmes, c'est que nous n'avons pas réussi toujours à équilibrer les choses et que certaines personnes, malheureusement, ont dû s'annuler au dernier moment.
Bravo.
Mais
Bravo.
Je vous garantis que nous ferons tous nos efforts pour évoluer davantage vers la parité.
Bravo.
Voilà. Et maintenant, the floor is yours.
Merci Thierry, vous êtes vraiment très gentil. I will be delivering my remarks in English, despite the pressure of speaking French in a eloquent manner. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and speakers, dear friends, a very warm welcome to the United Arab Emirates. We are incredibly delighted to be hosting the 15th edition of the World Policy Conference, and in Abu Dhabi for the second time. This is indeed a great privilege, and we are here hopefully not only welcoming you to enjoy your time here, but also to engage in substantive discussions. Because the World Policy Conference is also a platform for valuable exchange and dialogue. And from the sheer diversity of the speakers, of the attendants, it is very clear that whether in government or in business, the most pressing global issues must be addressed in that spirit of collaboration and in that spirit of cooperation. We are, after all, in a country that has been founded on the basis of hundreds of different nationalities and thousands of different people contributing to its success and contributing to its ethos. And that success really does come from the ability to look towards the future, but also the recognition on the value of different and diverse perspectives, which is why you see in the UAE such a multicultural, multi-dimensional perspective being brought to the table in a very Arab environment, but also in a very global environment at the same time. As we exchange goods, as we exchange trade, and as we exchange practices and ideas with countries from all around the world, we use that as a learning point on how we as a nation and we as a people can continue to grow and evolve. So the path forward for us has never been a solitary path. It has always been in accord with walking and working with the international and global community. And so as we look today in 2022 at the challenges of tomorrow and the problems that we're all facing today, we must give an honest assessment of where and why we are where we are. We must study it, we must analyze it and understand it, and then we must, through serious collective effort, look at ways in which we can improve it. This diverse group of speakers and distinguished voices on the agenda demonstrate that the WPC is truly casting a wide net, not to just bring people to talk and converse, but also to bring people to dialogue and to build different forms of what that future could look like. 2022 was an unexpectedly very challenging year. Certainly as we continue to recover from the pandemic, there's much work that needs to be done. But also the lessons that we have learned from that pandemic haven't fully registered. In addition to that, the war in Ukraine has not only exposed geopolitical fault lines and caused a huge humanitarian crisis in Europe, but it's also thrown into the spotlight the urgency of matters such as food security and supply chain vulnerability, especially amongst developing countries and food vulnerable populations. And it stressed quite importantly that international institutions need to be more adept to the challenges of our time. This week's agenda examines these issues at great length and at great depth. And I'm grateful for the presence of the members of the diplomatic corps who are here with us today, because these systemic forces and trends which are shaping our international political and economic order are ones that need to be brought to the table in full conversation, but also in diverse perspectives. Having said that, another challenge looms strongly, and that is climate change. As you know, the United Arab Emirates will be hosting COP28 next year, and we do so in the spirit of wanting to also have a COP that is meaningful and impactful, and that brings diverse and different thoughts to the table from all around the world, and in particular, the countries of the Global South. How we manage to deal with a just energy transition by also ensuring prosperity and stability for people around the world, how we manage to do that in a manner that's equitable and that also considers the growing and important role of countries from other continents, whether it's Africa or Asia or South America. And as we grapple with this challenge of climate change, how do we do so in light of new geopolitical rivalries that could jeopardize international cooperation, my direct portfolio, as we've always known it? We were speaking earlier, before coming onto the stage, that there have been, over the course of the last decades, international institutions that have been formulated post-World War II. As we look at changing environments, but also changing and new dynamic challenges that are brought to the table, these institutions continue to need to be able to provide the solutions that the pressing nature of our time demand. The path forward in the UAE is clear. It can only happen through constructive dialogue. But we do not meet with each other to simply talk to one another. We must meet one another to also ensure that we are bringing more to the table by being innovative and inventive and bold. because we do have to look at ways in which we also do not become echo chambers, where we simply repeat and agree with one another as to what that path forward needs to look like. There is a strong conviction in the UAE that the strength of the output can only come through diverse opinion and also through a clear intent that we are delivering on impact and not simply on output. Everyone can and must be part of the solution, and everybody has a duty to contribute. And sometimes these efforts start with a strong foundation and a rich shared history or cultural legacy, and other times a hand must be extended and a certain degree of faith must be placed in a new relationship. Regardless of how we begin, international cooperation is also based on the recognition that everyone has something to offer that you don't, and that the collective wisdom has the capacity to chart forward a path that is necessary in uncertain times. The solutions for today's urgent problems and tomorrow's approaching ones begin in the mind and are made real through rigorous discussion and partnership between states and at all levels of government and society. Through this, we hope to step into the future confident in our ability to collectively meet its challenges and seize on opportunities. My best wishes to you all for a successful and productive conference. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention.